Hi, welcome back. This is part 5 of my coal hopper project. Before we start, I want to mention that because this is part 5, all of them are called my coal hopper project. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. Done in numbers. Just want to mention, hold on, I need to pause because I've forgotten a few items. I just want to mention that before I start this video, if you want to see how these hoppers are made, it's only a brief, but you can see it in my very first video, which is called I forgot what I called it. Tips for model constructing. Capital T, full stop at the end. But yeah, I've been working on this. At the moment, what we are doing is actually building the conveyor to work on that, which I did start these. I have got the rest of them finished, as I said in my last video that I was going to do that, which ended up being in 2 parts. Luckily enough, I fixed that problem as well, so we should not have any problems with the laptop turning itself off. What it was, as I said, there were screws missing from it. What it was, the back end had actually lifted away, and the button kept on pressing down and turning my laptop off itself. The charger wasn't working properly, but everything is working absolutely perfectly now, so we should have no problems. Anyway, let's get on to the constructing. What I'm going to need is my craft knife, and it's not in my box. 2 minutes while I look for my craft knife. Right, I found my craft knife, it was in another box. So what we was working on was making the cogs, the wheels for the cogs. So what we want to do now we've got the cardboard wrapped around it and glued on, as I showed in my last video, which would have been part 4, but it ended up being part 5. No, sorry, which was supposed to have been part 3, but ended up being part 4. Sorry, this video is part 5. Anyway, so what we're doing is we are just cutting the edging of the cardboard away. And once we've done that, should have it nice and flush with the circle. Unfortunately, that's actually me cutting slightly into the cardboard. Never worry about that if that happens, but try not to let it happen. So I can actually now move my laptop about without it switching off because of fixing the problem. Instead, I got no screws for it though. So yeah, it's not overly perfect, but it doesn't have to be, as long as it does the job that we want it to. And I'll try and squeeze it down a bit just to plump it out, make it a bit more round. I'm not sure that this one's going to work, but we're going to try it anyway. Oh, I can see why it doesn't look right. It's actually overpressed, but when we put the other pieces on, that should be fine. So next one, I did do the rest of the wheels as well, as I said I was going to. I have got them all like this because this does not take long to actually do. I may or may not pause the video to do the rest of them, but I'll tell you what, I'll do 2 small ones, 2 big ones on the video and cut the rest out. But I will show you the rest, how they look. And I'll show you how to motorise them and see how fast they spin before we start attaching any conveyor belt. Now there's the other one. These are the ones that are built on the video. So this big one, because it's bigger, is nice and easy to just trim it away, because you can see better into the circle. Actually, before I cut the other one, I'll show you now how I'll cut the other one, because obviously I'll show you this quick time with how we are going to configure this. So obviously one of these has to go to the motor. Do not put a big one on the motor, wait until you see what I actually do to actually slow the motor in its rotations. So that's what these are for, to slow the rotations of the motor. I'm not sure how many of these it's going to take. So if it comes to it, I'll have to build a gigantic one to slow it down. So there we have that. These are the other ones that I did cut them out and do them. I actually put them up to this point. There should be another small one. Is that right? Let me just see. Right, motor. No, I'll start with these ones. Let me just check this. I'm going to pause the video to just check this. I'm not going to do anything. Yes, they are all in place. I have done the exact right amount. So I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this next big one. I'm just going to cut one of the small ones then. Well, the last small one. So what we've got is 3 big wheels, 3 small wheels to start with. The glue's not overly dry on this, but it's dry enough. So I'm glad I started with one of the big ones. But before I actually do the other 2, I want to show you what we are going to do. With some of these wheels. Oh no, because I've just thought there's something else that needs to be done to them before that actually happens. Sorry, I just want to try and get this done as fast as possible because I'm actually looking forward to really seeing this. I've never ever in my life built a motorised conveyor belt. This is my very first time. I haven't even built the conveyor belt yet. I'll show you how to build one of those. There's many ways to do it. So I'm going to try a fair few tricks first before actually do the conveyor belt properly. But I did say in my last video that I did build a half track at one point. How I did the half track is not going to be the same way as I did the conveyor belt for this. So obviously I don't want it too strong and putting forces on the cogs. So we're going to get one of these little cogs. And we are going to get down to the point of using a full sheet of paper, but we are going to get one of these pieces of paper. And we are going to, I don't know if that'll be big enough. Pardon me, I'm going to just do a quick test on this. I'm not going to measure it out. This may be too small for what I want to do. Doing this off camera just to check. Oh, these might not be too small. No, I'm actually not. Right then. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put the laptop up on the other table. I'm going to pause the video to get set up so you can see what I'm doing. Right, so I've got my table here. I'm going to discard the one that I cut, which is not showing itself. These all appear to be the same size. Ah, no, that's the one that I cut off. I'm going to discard that one. And what we're going to do is, we're going to get our wheel, the little one. So we're going to start with this one. And we're going to measure out. That's exactly 10 millimeters. So what we're going to do, we're going to go onto here. We're going to get that lined up with the edge line so it's perfectly straight. Yeah, that looks about right. I'm going to draw a dot on the 10 millimeter. And we're going to move the ruler a bit further on down. And do the same again. It doesn't matter where you put them two dots, as long as you get them. There's the one dot, there's the other. Now what we're going to do, we're going to put the ruler onto there. Get a perfect straight line. Using the edges to guide you with your see-through ruler, so you get the lines that are drawn on the ruler because they are actually straight to measure up, and you'll see just how straight that they actually are. Both dots have lined up with that line. You can slightly see them, but it doesn't matter about it being slightly too small, slightly too big. What we are going to now use that line, and we're going to draw a dot on the 10 millimeter, a dot on the 20 millimeter. I'm going to take it in centimeters, it's easier. So a dot on the 1 centimeter, a dot on the 2 centimeter, a dot on the 3 centimeter, a dot on the 4 centimeter, a dot on the 5 centimeter, a dot on the 6 centimeter, a dot on the 7 centimeter, and we're going to go all the way to the end of the ruler, going at 10 centimeter across, going 10 millimeters across, which is 1 centimeter. So every centimetre across all the way to the end of the ruler. So where you'll be drawing your dots is on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is a 15 centimetre ruler. That'll be the last one. Well, there we have. If I can get it seen on the camera, yes, you can just about see it at the top here. There are dots going 15 centimetres across. And you want to do the same again on the bottom line, using this line for your ruler. Instead of going right to the edge of the paper, you're using that line. It doesn't matter if you go from the edge of the paper or not. It's just this makes it quicker. So I think I've took up too much video time trying to get this thing going, and I just want to hurry up now and get it going. It's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be awesome because I'm building it. But one thing that is puzzling my head is how I'm going to contract the conveyor to operating both hoppers separately. But I'm also trying to think in my head how I can get it to configure both of them at the same time as well as operating them separately. Maybe I can draw up some ideas. If I do draw up some ideas, it won't be on camera. Because obviously, if I do start drawing up some ideas, half of them probably won't even work. I'll start one idea and then realise, oh, that's not going to work. And you don't want to see me drawing like 10,000 ideas on the screen. When I actually come up with an idea, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll just keep it so it just operates both hoppers separately. So I do actually have an idea for that one. I'm getting a pain in my stomach, so I might try and put some food in there. I did have a bit of a breakfast this morning. I had some egg on toast. And my stomach seems to be aching. And I did struggle to sleep last night. And I did start feeling hungry. I mean, the way I am, you'd think that I've had a good, decent sleep. But believe it or not, I've actually been awake all night. I haven't had one drop of sleep. I mean, the reason why I've started my video this late is not because I've been sleeping, it's because I've been reviewing my video, find out where I've picked up and where I need, find out where I left off and needed to pick up. Just make sure that I'm not making any mistakes, so it ends up confusing people. The only thing I managed to remember is that I was going to sort the wheels out before actually starting this. You're going to see something really cool in a bit. You're going to see how these actually become cogs. That's what I'm drawing out here. These are spokes for the cogs. That's why we ended up doing one extra, because that one extra, which is going to be off the end here, that one we're going to use to space out the cogs. And all I was checking earlier is whether these would actually fit as a strip. I think I did mention, I'm not sure. But these will work to actually get in the cog, to push the other cogs. What the speed's going to be like with just 3 cogs, I have no idea. I'm hoping I don't have to make any more. So if I do, I'm going to try doubling the size. Try and spin it slower. But then I'm getting worried that I'm going to do it too big and end up with a cog that's spinning far too slow. Well, I'm hoping that this will do it. And I'll show you how to test it. Because when we actually put these cogs together, there's going to be something where I can actually hook it into a place where it will actually just stay there and roll freely. Right, this is the last one. So there we have our cog strips. Right, so we cut the first one off. Try and keep it straight on the line as possible. And this is a lot easier, there's no faffing about with this, but we're doing that same thing again as we did with the poles, only this time it's smaller paper and easier to roll. You only have to squeeze it and then roll it. Push it into place. Bring it back a little. So we've got like a little flap there. And obviously, when I can find it, and get a glue spreader, because that's where we're going to put some glue. Now don't worry about this thinking, what's the point in putting glue on it? There is a good purpose for this. Even though this helps space out where the cogs are going, it also does another purpose. It actually becomes the last spoke on the cloth. So you're not over making them. It doesn't matter if you do anyway. But one thing you never do is make so many cogs, so many spokes, and cut them all out at once. Do not do that. So if you cut them all out at once, you'll end up with too many. So just decoratively do it one at a time. Obviously you can't actually say exactly how many cogs are going to fit onto this. How many spokes are going to fit onto the cog. And you can't measure out anything. That's why it's best to use a 15mm ruler. Because if you tried to use a 30mm ruler and you went all the way to the end of the 30, you could end up with too much or not enough. And if you ain't got enough, you wouldn't know how many more to go. So once again, a little bit of glue on that. Spread it around. Now this one, we're not going to put to one side. What we're going to do with this is we are going to put, well, there's actually still a bit of glue on there. We're going to put some glue on there, and we're going to measure it so it sticks on to the wheel. And it doesn't want to stick. If it doesn't stick, press it in a bit. But no, this one's actually playing up. There we go, I got it to stick. I don't know. It's not perfect, but it'll do. I think I'll have this one joined to the motor. So what you do is, obviously, same again, roll up a piece of paper. Don't just think, oh, I'll stick it straight on. No, you'll mess it up. Put the glue on. Get your wheel. Now this time, you want to use this one. Oh, put some, yeah. You want to use this one, you want to put it against that one. Right, hold that thought a minute. I may or may not need to actually go to the toilet. My stomach is actually really killing me. Right, put your glue on there. And you get this piece onto this bit on the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Right, this piece, you brace it against that one. And you get this one with the glue. You just stick it on there so it doesn't move. And you push the middle one out. And obviously, because these are paper rolls, when that comes to hitting those, it'll stay in line and it will actually push the cog round rather than skidding all over the place. So you want to repeat that process for the rest of it. So let's put that so it won't roll about. I'm going to use the pencil as well. I don't start hitting the cog. So put glue on there. Close shave. Being fidgeting. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to put this one on. It's not going to let me. It's got there eventually. Remove the middle one. And as you can see, it is now starting to take the shape of a cog. And that's all there is to it. Right, I'm going to pause the video because I'm going to go to the toilet and I'm probably going to have something to eat. So, back in a bit. And just because I paused the video doesn't mean to say that you don't have to stop. Obviously, you just repeat the process until you've got that completely like that all the way around the wheel. And it obviously is the same for the rest of the wheels. Don't know why I've said that, because this isn't a live stream. So that's my tiredness. Oh, I just remembered something. In one of the videos I said that I was going to make some ballast in this video. What I meant when I said in this video is in one of these videos of the part. Because this video is done in parts. So technically it's all one video. But we will be making ballast. Right then, we're back. So, that was what, yeah. We're cutting the next strip off this. I'm only going to show one of these small ones done on the video and one of the big ones. So you can actually get the gist of what's actually happening. I might actually say half of one of the big ones. So as I said, I want to save up video time. But at least I can move the laptop about now without it switching off. It's really annoying when it was doing that. Ever since I clipped the piece back in, put the button in place, I haven't had no problems with it since. So once again, on there, some glue, or we can take some of that glue off, which is very handy. I should really be using my baseboard underneath this, but no matter. So using that glue, I'm going to dab some glue onto that. I'm going to get the one that we're measuring out with, put it against another one of those. Glue that one into place. It's actually glued to that one. Alright, so there. Move that. So this one can glue in place properly. Oh god damn it, it's moved. So obviously I want to put that back in just to get the space between them. Now for crying out loud, this one just doesn't want to work. Got to space it out again. Just try and wipe the glue off that. So I think what's causing it. Hold that in place. Remove the middle one. Yeah, that's come better. Right, roll to the other side. It's not overly straight, but guaranteed that'll work as a cog. So moving on to the next one. Because we hopefully in this video, in this part of the video, sorry, I will be motorizing these, motorizing the one cog to spin the rest of them. But this can take some doing. Because an old saying that I know, Rome was never built in a day. Might be able to scrape a bit of glue off there again. Yes, I can. Oh, this one's gone lopsided. Doesn't matter, you can just push it into place, hopefully. Yeah. people think that a lot of things are built accurately, but if you look at stuff properly, there is actually a lot of stuff that's inaccurately built. It's like the very first clock. Everyone thinks that the very first clock that was made was run by gears and cogs, and it wasn't. It was actually worked by shadows. And it's very well known. It's known as Stonehenge. Stonehenge, those stones in Stonehenge, are actually a clock. You can actually use them to tell time. And that was the very first clock that was ever made. Is it actually accurate times? Is a clock of what time is said accurate? I should wonder. I mean, if you come to think of it, it was actually humanity who invented time. How the hell did they know what the times would actually be? How do they know exactly how old the world is? And if this year is actually correct of the world's existence? I doubt it is. Hold on, that one's still a bit lopsided. Actually see that. No, I'm gonna have to leave that one out. It went lopsided. But anyway, as I was saying about time and stuff like that, is it actually accurate? Well, I had something lined up of what I was going to say and I completely forgot what it was. All because of noticing that messed up. It's like a car's always built accurate. Because I've known people to buy a brand new car and there's been a fault with it. Which means it wasn't built accurately. Just because something's not accurate doesn't mean to say that it has to be faulty. I mean, if you look at a car properly, is it actually symmetrical on both sides? If you say yes it is, you are incorrect. Because there's only one side that has a driver's steering wheel. Unless you get one of them practical cars where you're practicing driving and it has two steering wheels. Are the gears on a car completely perfect, the cogs, or do they just push one another? That's the demonstration what I'm showing here. That's what I was gonna say. The demonstration of these cogs will just show that perfection is not always the way. To do something actually to perfection, it's best to have it look non-professional. That's when you know you get your unique products. Because that cog there, that's unique. You can see that that's actually starting to take shape. You can see that another roll of that will fit in between that. Those rolls being on this wheel, that's going to push that. But we've got to let that perfectly dry. That's why I'm only doing so much on this part of the video. And then I'm going to do the rest off camera. Because obviously it's going to be a bit boring just watching me cut these out and putting them on there. but it also makes you look forward to actually seeing this operate at the same time. Like I said, are my videos actually perfect? I can't say that they are, but I'm good enough. Unfortunately, I need someone to teach me how to actually use a video editor, because YouTube ain't doing nothing for me, and every video editor that I've tried to use, as I said on the one video, that I had to go through all my stuff quite quickly because I ended up with a break in the video and I tried to fix it together, couldn't do it. And obviously the break in part 3 and 4, is it? The break in there, I couldn't fit that back together and I couldn't start the video all over again, because if I did, I'd have to take the construction down. And to do that, I'd have to break it and start completely all over again. Actually, after I've done this one, I will pause the video and start the next one when I get so far with it. I will unpause the video, just to save a bit of time. So obviously you can see how I'm doing this now. So it doesn't matter which one I'm using as measurement, which one I'm not. All these roll out roughly the same size. That's the important part, is the actual cogs. Does a wheel have to be perfectly round? No, it does not. It's just got to be round enough to do what it's supposed to. When I said that I built all these cars and stuff using cardboard for wheels, this is how the wheels looked, and they spun really well, because of having a replica of suspension on them. The wheels did not come off the ground or anything like that, and they rolled really well. I wish I could have showed them. Well, I wasn't too keen on them anyway, because I tried to keep them to a scale for the trains and that, but unfortunately I didn't actually know the scale when I built them. And I have actually struggled with actually getting the scale right for double L gauge and HO. I was actually buying vehicles that was actually too big for the scale. But not all scales are the same. You can actually configure some 150 scale to the HO, but you can only do it with military vehicles. It's like I have a Sherman tank that come with the Oxford rail piece that I showed in one video of my when I showed my review, that I had a Sherman tank that came with one of those. Now I know half tracks are slightly smaller than a tank, but some half tracks can be bigger than a Sherman tank. And when I was collecting trains before, I did actually have some half tracks that were legit scale, really scaled. The tracks moved, everything, really good detail. That's the word I'm looking for. Really detailed. But the only thing was they was a 150 scale, but they looked neat to the HL. Not HL, double O gauge. Looks really neat. And with the vehicles that I was collecting, that looked good with the double O gauge. It did look really, really good. That's mainly what I had in my last collection, to be honest, with road vehicles. I had tons of them. That's the only thing I miss of my last collection, really, is the vehicles. The engines, the trains that I was collecting, I didn't really give too fuss about. But what was getting me on it is how much they were worth and how much I was actually paying for them. I was getting them for well under price. We've almost finished this. And look, we still have loads of strips left. So when this strip is gone, when these strips are gone, I'm going to pause the video because I'm actually going to continue until these strips are done. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to pause the video and then I'm going to obviously what strips are left on here. I'm going to be pausing the video and then finish it to so far and then finish the rest, just so you can get a gist of what I'm actually doing. How well this is going to work, I have no idea, but I do know it will work. I just hope that the glue is dry enough when I actually configure it to the motor, otherwise we're going to have paper rolls flicking off everywhere. Might you can come up with a better idea to actually making cogs of this size. Good luck to you. Like I said, that's in a person on YouTube build a gearbox, a working gearbox. Yeah, it's really good, except for the cogs he was using were about this big. They were quite big cogs. Try and make smaller cogs. And what he done to actually make these ridges was, kind of threw it away. Never mind. Was he used the corrugated, obviously. It was only single corrugated, so just imagine that without that side. And all he done was wrapped it round like that, which gives off the ridges. Now I could do that with this, but the problem is I'd have to put cocktail sticks inside there to hold it up, otherwise these would just start slipping and sliding. That's what he did, he put cocktail sticks inside them. But I don't want to waste my cocktail sticks on any of that when I can do it this way, where I don't need cocktail sticks. So let's glue this one on. So I've noticed that with a lot of people that do constructing and stuff like that, they always make simple things look very complicated. Say like I don't know. Say as if this was another YouTuber doing, no, not another YouTuber. Let's say it like this. Someone else was doing this, not me. I'm not sure how they would do it, but it would make it look 10 times more complicated. And then when they come to realise in a way that makes it look simple, it ends up being complicated. So if this was someone else, they'd probably just put cocktail sticks straight on there. And the cocktail sticks, because of them being wood, you'd have to wait a long time for the glue to dry. Paper sticks with wood glue. You use Pritt sticks on paper. That's this stuff, but in solid form. Now you try sticking a cocktail stick onto paper with a Pritt stick. Almost impossible. Can be done, but you'd need to use a lot of the Pritt stick. So we've got a gap now that's slightly too big. Not sure how that's happened. And we'll just measure these out again. Ah, that's where it is. There we go, well that one's slightly to that side. Need to roll that one round slightly. So we've got two of these. I need to push that one in there. Use this one to push the other one. No, that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, that looks right now. Where's that one? On there. No, I think we've still got a too big of a gap. So it's not sticking. That's supposed to be stuck down. So I'm going to measure all these out a bit more. That's why it's also good to use paper rolls. Because if it does go a bit out of place, you can always roll the paper to the side. Ah, that one's really tight. I'm going to roll towards this way. Oh, I should re-stick that one. I didn't actually pour any glue on this, I just scraped some from the lid. You don't need a lot of glue for this. Shit. Oh, that's enough glue. And there we have it. We have now a full cog. Let me try and put that flat in my hand. That one's moved to the side again. That should work as a cog. I hope so. I'll leave that to dry. I'll wear some strips. Hang on, I may not be able to use the rest of these strips, so I may be pausing the video anyway. See how much this measures out. Yeah, those ones are 12 centimetres. Hold on a minute, because I haven't been cut down properly. Where's my craft knife? There. Still got some edging on this. Yeah, I've got a lot of edging on this. Not sure how. But I know that these ones are actually slightly a different size to the smaller ones. Well, obviously, I don't want ridged edges, because if it starts catching on cardboard, it could start making friction and causing a frigging fire. That's something we don't want. But there is a way around that as well to stop it from doing that. You just do the same again, but put a smaller circle in the middle. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a circle, it can be a square. Just as long as there's not too much friction going on between the cardboard. You don't want these wobbling side to side everywhere, because if they do that, they won't stay in line visibly. So yeah, on these bigger ones, it's actually marking out 12mm. So I'm pausing the video and I'll come back to you. Just to let you know, these are not going to waste. I'm going to use up to there to do this one, but it's going to be off video. Just a quick heads up, because I am actually going really tired. I may continue this video a bit later on, or tomorrow. But when I get so far and I've gone too tired, I will be putting my head down. Right, I have actually made a decision, but there we go. It's not complete, but it'll do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out the measurements for this one on this piece of paper. And I'm probably just going to get my head down. This one's going to be a bit difficult because it's a 12 centimeter, 12 millimeter to bring off. Let's see. Yeah, 12 millimeters. So obviously it's the same. I can use that still, so I'll just leave that to one side. I'm not sure I should do this while I'm really tired, but I'm going to try. So there's 12. Can't bother to calculate how to where 24 would be on the next one. No, 12 or 12 is 24. So I went there. From there to there with 12. Yeah, that's it. No, I can measure it out. Oh crap, and I meant to be doing them dots just yet. I need to get the line drawn straight first. I've just been working from a line that I've drawn. So it's perfectly straight. I know for a fact I'll get the rest of it straight. So yeah, I think one of them dots was slightly off. Now let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's at 12. So 24. 24 plus 12. 24 plus 12, 6. 36. Yeah, that looks about right. Oh, no, it's that one. That's what I looked at. Oh. Yeah, so 36 plus 12, 6, 7, 8. 48. Oh, this is actually easy. 48, 60. 62. 84. 96. 108. 120. Let's check that's 12. If that's 12, then I've got all the measurements right. Yeah, got all the measurements right. Friggin' now, I'm just taught myself to count in sixes while I'm friggin' tied up with tray. It really helped. You ask me to count in sixes tomorrow, I won't be able to do it. I can just about do threes. So, you want 12, 24, 36, 48, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 8, 38, 60, 62, 84, 96, 108, 120. Let's draw those straight. Am I still recording? Oh, I am recording. So, there's my dots. just to show that I have actually done it. They are 12 spaces apart. So I might I counted in 6, I counted in 12s, didn't I? Oh damn it. I just realised 12 times table's easy. But ask me to do the 12 times table tomorrow. You'll be lucky if I manage to. Now when I replay this video, I might try and say the 12 times table. I've already forgotten the first number after 12. Oh no, I haven't. It's 24. 36. 48. 60. Yeah. No, well, I didn't realise that the 12 times table was that easy. You're just counting twos really, but put a 10 on it, on top of it. So, if you ask me to do 12 times table tomorrow, I'll probably be able to do it. No, it's more likely that I'm going to forget all this scenario. May or may not remember it. Anyway, I'll be able to remember my 12 times table if I remember you just counting twos but put a 10 in front of it. Or counting tens and put a 2 behind it. No, that doesn't work. If you're counting 10, it'd be 10. Now you'd count 12. And it'd be 22. Which that doesn't work. I'll probably be able to remember the 12 times table. I'll keep on saying to people that I am actually quite good at maths, which I am. But because of having brain problems, I can forget my maths very easily. And it'll seem like I'm actually really rubbish at maths. The way I say it is my calculator's broken. Just because I can't do it mentally in my head. As if I come to a calculation. Like if I'm in my local store and I'm buying multiple stuff, I'm counting in my head about how much it comes to, and sometimes I do get it wrong. I was just like, oh yeah, I didn't realise that my calculator's broken, so I always forget a bit of the price. I get very confused sometimes. Right, I will either see you later or see you tomorrow when I've showed you this, because as you can tell, I really have actually just gone completely sleepy. I'll have a cigarette and I'm going to sleep. So, see you soon. No, I won't see you. I'll talk soon. That's the word I'm looking for. I saw my locomotive in its box on my bed. Ignore that was not my locomotive. Right, see you after. Right, welcome back. I have had a good decent sleep. I can't remember exactly where we got to with the recording of the video, so just going to recap. Obviously, they're the cogs. As you can see, they do fit together quite nicely.
very nicely, as a matter of fact. So yes, I believe that they will work. Anyway, so I believe that these strips was for this. So yeah, as you can see, it's just the same process. You just cut the lines out, roll them up, and make the cogs like that. So I'm going to pause the video and continue with that. No, I'm going to start this one actually, since I've got all the parts ready. And hopefully you'll get to move on to seeing all this function. But there is a lot more functions to build yet. But getting these cogs to spin to the speed that I want them to spin to, getting that out of the way would be awesome. So I want to show this on camera actually. As you can see, just cut a perfect straight line along over that strip. You just get your strip like that and just roll it. Doesn't have to be really tight, as long as it's got the strength not to be moving about. And you leave a little bit sticking out, you put your glue on there. Using a glue stick spreader, spread the glue round and then finish rolling it like so. So, hold on, turn that around a bit more towards me. And once you've done that, get your glue again, pour just a little tiny dot on there, that's roughly all you need. Get your glue stick spreader, spread it on, get your wheel and apply. Try and get it as straight as possible so it looks straight. And obviously, repeat process. Just to show one of these actually being cut on the camera. Move it up a bit. And that's all there is to it. Right, see you in 5 when I've actually done all this, just to save video time. Oh, actually, sorry, scratch that, one more feature. Let me just roll this one quickly. Just to show this again, just so that everyone can get the gist of how to space these apart. So, apply a bit of glue to this. Now you're going to think that this is strange, but it's not. It still works exactly the same. Using that one that we was using on these to space them about. Instead of actually just making all paper rolls everywhere. Use the same one. You just put it on there and put the next roll next to it, holding it in place. There we go. Exactly straight. There we go. Using a pencil, just flick the middle one out. Straighten them up. Retest that. Make sure that they are perfectly straight. So the ones roll to the side a bit. It gets very awkward when you're trying to show it on a camera. So I've got no choice but to try and start again. Right, that one can hold in place. Obviously, if I had it more closer to me, it'd be easier to see. So I'm going to try and move closer to the camera. So, apply the glue. Getting your wheel. Placing this on the wheel, let it roll to the other one. To the other cog, rather. When I said the other one, that would have been like other wheel. You put that one on, nice and straight. Get your pencil and just gently push the middle one out. And that's all there is to it. Right, I'm going to continue now off video. Right, I haven't really finished putting these on, but when I've put the last couple on these, I'm going to show you how to attach this to the motor because that is now nice and dry. So, just give me a moment while I do the rest of these. It won't take long. Because I've almost finished. I think there's about 3 left to put on this. Just going to do that in a jiffy. Also, I want to mention that I just realised that there was one of those that I haven't trimmed down yet. But we're getting there. Who's going ballistic? Yeah, no, I'm being nice and silent now. Might as well pause the video again, but now I can see me put the last couple of these on. Just so that you can remember exactly how to do it. As you can see, that is now looking like a cog. Obviously, I just got to put them last pieces there. And hopefully this will work exactly how I want it to. Because I can't remember full on, but I think I did mention that this is the first time I've ever made anything like this. So, congrats on me, because I think I've done a really good job for the very first attempt. I've never ever made cogs in my life. But that strategy that I used to draw the circles, I actually got the idea for college because I went to college at one point. I was supposed to put myself in for electronics, but because a lot of people was talking to me, I accidentally put myself in for carpentry. Hopefully this September I'll be able to concentrate on what I'm saying to the college and put myself in for electronics, because if this doesn't work, I could probably ask the electronics tutor if he could show me how to slow a motor down electronically. Which means then that I can just hook the motor straight to the conveyor belt, which will be 10 times easier, so I won't have to be making cogs and all this stuff. But who knows, this method might still work. We'll find out anytime soon. Also, I want to try and hurry up and finish this video because I get paid tonight, and I've got some things on eBay that I would like to purchase. So hopefully expect another review of new stuff that I bought. I'll put it under something because I can't remember what I said I'd put it under. I think I did mention this before because that's just rung a bell. But it will be put under something, and I'm sure you'll be able to find it. So you know it's my stuff that's new. I will actually put my face on the camera as well. I think I did that with my last review actually. And there we have it. A full spelt cog. We're going to put that there now to dry somewhere. Just going to leave that to dry. And while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to show you how to hook this to the motor. When I can remember where I put my motors, wait, that wasn't in the box that these was in. Where is that box? Ow. Sorry folks, oh no, wait there, I've just found the motors on the floor here. We're going to use this one, the one that I've tested how fast it spun. Now, to put one of these on here, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but not too difficult. But what we are going to need, now we need my sewing kit, which is right here. Luckily enough, I don't have to put a video on this. It's not the sewing kit that I'm actually going for though, so just take note that it's one of them that I'm going to be needing. Now I just want to check diameter to that and that. Yes, that should work. So what we're going to do is the hole that where we put the pin, we are going to force this through that hole. So far on that side, and then turn it around, find the hole on this side, and make sure that both of them holes line up. Because if they don't line up, you'll end up with a wheel spinning all over the place and probably snapping the spokes for the cog. So you just keep turning it around and around and make sure that it goes exactly where you want it to. So it's exactly straight. This is why you put the pins all the way through. And then to hold it onto the motor, I know I did say that I like that colour, but I've recalibrated my mind to knowing that you won't be able to see these cogs that well. So it doesn't matter which way around the colour goes. So I'm actually going to have this part facing the motor. Right. This doesn't seem to be wanting to go through here. So I'm going to use a pin, luckily enough I'm still on the table. I'm going to figure out why this is not going through. Can't feel no hole. May have crushed the cardboard on the inside. But that's not important because that can always be levelled out. The main part that you want completely straight is the back end and the front end. As long as the pole goes right through both of those holes, you should be able to have a perfect straight line right way through. Right, I've stabbed that through again. It hasn't gone where I want it to go. It's gone off the grid. So do the same on the other side. And that has actually gone through. And I figured out why it wasn't going through properly. Just realised the end of that has snapped off. It was stuck inside there, stopping this from going through. So using the sharp end again. See, that's actually going through again now. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to go through the other way. Yes, I can feel it coming through. I can actually see it about to come through on the other end. If you can see that. That little brown dot is the end of the cocktail stick. I'll stop there. Go back through the other way. Yeah, it's actually lined up with both holes. And we just keep twisting as we push it through. And it's stuck so far. When it starts getting stuck like it has, I'm going to gently just twist it out and twist it back in the other way. And eventually you'll realise that you've actually made that hole widened all the way through. Now there is another way of doing this. You don't have to use a cocktail stick. I'm actually using a bit of a crappy method. The best thing to actually use is a drill piece. After you've got a cocktail stick to go through that far, because it's actually quite hard now to get the cocktail stick to go right the way through. And that's what we're aiming for. It's getting there. I'm going to turn the cocktail stick around because I have now the tunnel. But it's still being awkward. I'm not sure why. But if you look there, you can actually see now that there is a quite wide hole in the centre of the wheel, which is what we want. Oh, I'm going in the wrong way. Or maybe not. This cocktail stick will eventually go right the way through. And if you do use a drill piece, use the drill piece that is just slightly smaller than that. That's why I've used a cocktail stick, because this cocktail stick is just slightly smaller. And obviously I haven't got a drill piece handy. But this cocktail stick is almost through. I seem to be squashing the wheel doing this. Let's see if we can get this to go through. Yes, I can. But it's got stuck. That's actually got itself stuck on there already. I'm actually spinning the motor with that. So that's how I'm going to have my wheel on there. Now to actually hold it in place, it's going to be really difficult to do. I need that to go a bit further on down. Unfortunately, I can't actually twist it to come off and on, so I'm going to have to use a bit of force. Let's see if this cocktail stick will now go right the way through. Yes, it has, and it's about time. So I managed to get the cocktail stick to go right the way through. There's a reason for that. Let's put this back on here. Yes, that is perfect. That's exactly where I want that cog. Now to hold it in place so it doesn't slip out everywhere. Everyone should know what this stuff is. It's super glue. Now what you want to do so you don't wreck up the motor is, if you can see what I'm doing there, yeah, the motor is underneath the wheel, the wheel's above the motor. Just make sure that that still spins quite nicely. Yep. Move it up slightly. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'll open up my super glue if I can. So Sorry, sometimes my super glue tends to get a bit messy. Now, I've got the lid stuck again. I'm not sure how this lid keeps on getting stuck. I can even try to crack away from that. Don't do the method I just did using my mouth. It's not very safe to do so. Unfortunately, I do actually struggle with twisting stuff. But guess what? I have now opened my super glue. That is how my super glue opens. Now I have another problem. Luckily enough, I've got the Stanley blade with me. Unfortunately, I won't get no glue out of that. The whole top of the lid is glued. So I'm just going to use my Stanley blade. I think I did mention the Stanley blade is a bit broke. Using the Stanley blade, I'm just going to chop super glue off the top of the glue. You want to be careful not to cut the plastic, so what you do is just let the knife stick into the glue only. See, I'm nowhere near on that, but I can see that the glue is all down the side here as well. All you do is let the knife find its way into the glue. Do not try and force it. As soon as you feel a stick bit like that, that's when you flick it off. That's just a tough piece of glue. See how it just slipped slowly over that then? So I'm not forcing it into the plastic. See, that was a nice big piece of glue that just fell off there. And hopefully I'll be able to get into this. It's almost there. And you don't try and force the knife into the glue. Just let it find its way. So all you're doing really, is that until it actually clicks into something. Then you use force.
Phil? Phil? Yeah? Hello, mate. Do you want fishing? Do you want fish fingers and chips? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm actually, I know that seems a bit dangerous the way that I just did that, but I'm actually using my rib there to stop it from stabbing into me. See, I can't force that knife any further than that. So I am actually using it safely, it just looks dangerous. Right, I'm going to try and see if I can get some glue out of that. I ain't getting no glue out of that. I'm going to use my knife and I'm going to stab a hole in the top. That just doesn't want to open. I'm not sure how it's got this messed up. No, that was a bit dangerous. I could have flicked that up straight into my eye. I'm getting a bit agitated because I'm not getting no glue off this as such. I'm going to do it bit by bit. Ah! That was a good piece to come off. Yeah, I can actually start seeing the glue seeping through. So the way that this glue works, this hole on top is actually meant to open. That's why you don't see me actually take the lid off. I believe I can get some glue out of that. So here goes. Yeah. Just blow on it and try and get it in that hole as much as possible. And then when it dries, it will actually hold in place. Now I've just got glue on my finger. Yeah, that's completely gone into the tube. I know that because as I'm blowing the glue to the side, it leaves an air gap so the glue can actually just drop into the hole. But now that's dropped into the hole, I'm going to very carefully remove some of that glue so it doesn't get in the way of anything else. And by doing that, just by dabbing a bit of tissue on it. There we go. So I have glue in that hole now. And when that glue dries, it'll fuse to the metal. I can show you. It'll fuse to the metal that's inside there and fuse a nice big seal above the whole thing. So you won't be able to push that down and you won't be able to lift it off. Well, you will be able to lift it off, but it will take a bit of force. Anyway, I'm going to pause the video because I've got to go to the toilet. Right, because obviously we want to test this, I'm going to have a cigarette and wait for that to completely dry so it's completely fused. And then we're going to actually see how that spins. So that'll be exciting. Back in a moment. Right, I struggled to find the wire to power this up, but I did take the Audacity of finishing that cog as well so we can see how we're going to configure this together. But before we do that, I'm going to test this motor with this cog on it. And as you can tell, that the screen has moved around because obviously when I was looking at the wire I had to move all the tables. And I thought it would be easier if I brought it a little closer, just so I could use the extension lead here to plug that in. So that's what's going to make our motor work. Oh, another way that you can make this motor work as well, to slow the speed down, and it is hook it to a battery. Unfortunately, you have to spend hours frigging changing batteries and all that rubbish. Well, not hours, but spend a few minutes changing the battery just to keep changing the battery, and it's pointless doing that. And you can just have a button to press when you want to use it and when you don't want to use it. You can put the button with the battery as well. But if the battery dies and you're in the middle of a video, it's going to ruin the video. So, we have our motor there. I'm going to hold them wires so they don't connect with one another. As I'm about to, because I'm about to turn the wire. There we go. Let's see. Look at that. So now we can actually see how fast that's spinning. That's going to take a few more cogs than what I expected to slow that down. So yes, that works. Right, what we're going to do now is, because we want that in the centre of there. Regardless, we want it in the centre of there. So the way to do that, you get your pin, following the holes very carefully of what you originally made, right in the centre, making sure that you don't push through any other cardboard. And that just got a little bit stuck there. Let's try from this side then. No, it doesn't seem to be wanting to go through. try the other pin because that one's slightly bent up. I went a little bit further. Not sure why this pin is not coming through. See, hold on, because I just saw the hole then. Right, so it's roughly that direction. Ah, there we go. So you put the pin on there. It's more or less the same method as what we used when we joined the cardboard together, except for this time we're using a smaller cog. As a matter of fact, you know, white would have been better, so scrap that idea. Take that cog from out there, put the smaller cog on first. You'll see why the smaller cog first. It's been awkward again. Yeah, that went through perfect. It's just been awkward. Now I've opened that hole a bit more. Put it through. Ah, that's the way to get the needle through perfectly. You have to twist the needle and it just slides through. Yeah, it went through the hole perfect. So I'll do the same again. And this one. Yeah, it's gone through exactly where we want it to. Now, we have a small gap, which is not ideal. So we want to try and move that as far away from that as possible. Like so. I am recording. Yes, I am recording. I'm going to turn it upside down, leave it there a minute, just so it pushes the needle a bit further down. Yes, so that's perfect. And we're going to put glue onto the cardboard there. Push the needle in a bit so it doesn't fall out of place, it doesn't mess up. And also when you push down on this, it doesn't slip it out of place. I think we need a bit more glue. Oh, I'm recording.
No.
So a bit more glue. Press it down, because obviously the glue spread is easier to get to the cog than the glue itself. So all you do then is push that onto there. As you can see, that is technically in the centre. And you just leave that now to dry. And then when it's dry, you take the needle out. Now while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to finish off cutting this one out. And put this one on camera just so you can see how it's done again. Now I'm going to pause the camera and put the teeth on to the cog. And then after I've got all these all set up, we are not going to actually build a casing. We are going to build a what's the word? I thought of it earlier. Because unfortunately I do think as I'm going along to try and think of what to say and then I forget of what I was mentioning. I can't think of the word, but we're going to build a casing for these, but it's not going to be the proper casing. There is a word for it, I can't think what it is. I'm just going to build a casing to test how these cogs work and how fast they spin. is more or less what I'm trying to say, because if you build the proper casing, it's not to legit standards, then you only have to end up building it again. So it's easy to just build a metaphor casing to sort of thing. No, it's still not the right word. I can't think of the word. Maybe I'll think of it and then get back to you on it. Anyway, I have drawn out the lines for the smaller ones. Obviously I'm going to have to do more for the bigger ones. So I'm going to use up the rest of this and start on this one. And because you're not really going to see these, whatever's left over on this, I'll do the lines for the others maybe. Oh no, I've actually got a fresh piece here. So I'll let you have the favour of seeing me do the first one, just so that you know exactly what you're doing, especially now that the camera's a bit closer. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that down there, and I'm going to move closer to the camera, so you can actually see what I'm doing properly. These are the ones that are at 12mm. As I always say, always best to have measurements. If you're using measurements, you get exactly the size you want. I mean, I didn't actually show this, but I should have done. These, because I used the measurement of what I was doing, are exactly the same size. So hopefully, I may or may not make an attempt to build a HL scale vehicle. And if I can be smart enough about it, try and actually put actual steering on it. But that's going to be a bit difficult, especially if you're using cardboard, because it's soft material. Had it been plastic, it'd be alright. But as you've seen from some of my collection, that they don't actually have steering on them. But there is an alternative to that, because not only am I going to build the vehicle, if the vehicle comes out good enough, or maybe do it the other way around, build what I'm going to build to it after. I'm going to try and build a caravan for it. I don't mean a little small caravan. I've always been fascinated by the big massive caravans because of how big they are. It's weird, I've seen one years ago. It was at a boot sale. Someone was actually it wasn't a model of it or anything like that, it was the real thing. And I was curious of how many wheels it had underneath, and I was shocked because say that was the caravan equal size to a HL scale. I think that might be a bit too big. I'd say it was roughly about that big, equal to a HL scale, just from there to there. And underneath, the wheels on it, it only had 2 wheels, and I was shocked, absolutely shocked, but the wheels were literally about this big. The wheels was literally about this big, maybe a little bit bigger, but that's the rough size of how big they were. It was only tiny. Absolutely hilarious. That's why I got fascinated with that caravan, just for how small the wheels were. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to let you see me put just one of these on. So obviously you saw how I just made that tube. All you do is a very little glue on the end, spread it across. This is just to show you how to start it off. Just make sure that it goes parallel along there, so it's at a straight line. If you struggle with this, there is another way of doing this. You can actually use a ruler before you actually put the rim on and draw lines across how far spaced apart you want your teeth on your cogs. Anyway, back in a bit. Oh, it's not the exact word I thought earlier, but when it was on about building a casing, what I meant was a decoy casing, so it's not the legit thing. You know what, I'm going to leave this playing a bit because I've just realised something on this video. I'm not going to have that much recording time left. So, because there is some stuff on eBay that I want to be buying, which will be left till about 12 o'clock tonight. I will be continuing making videos tomorrow. I'll think it'll be part 6 tomorrow. This is part 5, innit? I don't know, I'd have to look it up, but remember that part 1 is just called my coal hopper project, capital M, full stop at the end, and it'll come under part 1, part 2, part 3. Just a reminder, so you can actually see all these parts from start to finish. So yeah. Also, to see how the hoppers are made, wait there, let me just grab them. To see how these hoppers are made, it's only a brief on how they've actually been made. Check out my video that's called Tips for Model Constructing, and you can get a brief on how they're made. Obviously, you can still be nosy at me making the teeth on these cogs, so you can actually get a full gist of how them actually done. You don't actually have to have the teeth as spaced out as I have. You can make smaller and larger teeth. Just remember, always measure out with another piece of paper rolled up, because that gives the exact spacing of the teeth colliding together from one cog to another. And this one's just being awkward. Another thing I should have mentioned as well is when you're doing the teeth, when you roll the next tuff, instead of wasting time waiting for it to dry, turn it round to the so that was the last one that I glued on. Obviously I don't want that moving out of place, so I'll put it to the one that was glued first, and then you keep turning the wheel round like that, because the more dry it is, the more sturdier it'll be, so you can actually rest against the tuff. So each time you rest against the tuff, if you've only just glued it on, it will tend to move out of place. It's like when I come to this one now, on this end, because obviously that's the one that I just put on. When I come to this one, that will be a lot more tough, and it should be able to rest against it by the time I've made this. So if you want to do constructing like this, of making working mechanisms, I'm giving you the ideas on how to do so. When it comes to constructing, never try and just build something straightforward. Build it in parts. Because when you build it in parts, when you put it together, it looks the part. Suppose if you wanted to build a house out of cardboard, you build the downstairs first, you build all the walls to the downstairs, then you put another piece of cardboard on top, leading to where the stairs are. You'd have a hole in the cardboard, and then you'll build the walls for the upstairs and so on. But do the walls separately. Don't try and build them all at once, because if you try and build them all at once, you'll realise that nothing actually measures up correctly. Maybe I'll show that in a next video of building a house, because in my time I have actually built many houses out of cardboard, and I tried to fit lights in them, but unfortunately I was using Christmas lights, but not the Christmas lights I use nowadays, because on them Christmas lights they was like the LEDs in those bulbs that I showed on my train station. They just kept blowing. So now I can actually construct stuff a hell of a lot better, because I have figured out all the good material to do so. Also, in one of my videos I broke a lamppost. When I've actually finished all this on video, I will show how I actually built one of those lampposts, because I'm going to have to redo it. It's actually quite simple. Well, I kept the one part because that one part worked perfectly, but the rest of it, there was obviously a broken wire. So my plan is to thicken up the wires. It's funny how my other ones stayed completely fixed, because I actually realised that the one that broke on me had broke before. And I could tell that because the wires inside weren't the wires that I used originally. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get this all set up. As a matter of fact, it hasn't even reached 2 hours yet. I am gonna repause the video again and hopefully just show a quick demonstration of these spinning. I want to mention as well, actually, because it's just come to my attention, that when I build this bit, the casing for this will be the legit casing, but it'll be separate from all the other casing. Yeah, I've actually thought I'm going to actually strap that down so it doesn't move out of place. Thought of a really good way of doing that, so we'll come to that in a bit. Sorry folks, I'm not overly finished doing this yet, but it looks like we go down the shop. So I'll finish this, come back, and hopefully we can actually see some of this actually move. But while I've got it unpaused, because this should be dry by now, it feels like it, I'm going to take the pin from out of there. Check that out. That is a cog. Back in a bit. Right, we will be cracking on. I've got just this, just the half of this cog left to do, and then this one. Unfortunately, because I've done all the small cogs, I've just rubbed out the lines on that, and I'm going to use this piece of paper to finish off the rest. So, see in a bit. Alright, still haven't overly finished putting these spokes on, but there's that one. There's a reason why I'm actually continuing my video, because we're actually going to move on a little bit. We can sort these out later. There's the two that I made previously. I have just finished that one. I just used up the paper what I had left, so as we keep drawing them out. Finished the other little one, and I've started working on that one. Funny enough, that was the last piece of paper, and just one of them ends up on there. Anyway, what we are going to do is we're going to need one of those. Don't need the glue spreaders. We're going to need pencil, ruler. I'm also going to bring my big ruler out as well in case I need that. May need sharpener, may need eraser. Don't need the cocktail stick, I can move to one side. What we are going to actually use is a piece of cardboard of this size. Now we want this perfectly straight, but because this is cardboard, it will work on a flat surface. we're going to want this as well. So we are going to measure a perfect size piece of cardboard where this will fit on. This circle is actually 2.6 millimeter. 26 millimeters, sorry, not 2.6. I've been 2 centimeters, 6 millimeters. So it's 26 millimeter. So we want a bit bigger than that. So our measurement is going to be, I'm going to do it at 3 centimeters. So that'll be 300 millimeters. Now we are going to actually cut this out at a perfect square. So I'm actually going to join that as a line. And using that same method of getting perfect straight lines, I'm going to go right to the end, making sure that the 3 centimeter line is perfectly in line with the line that we just drawn. And we're going to draw another 3 centimeters, so we end up with a perfect square. Same again, all the way around, just to get the perfect square. And I'm going to show you how we're going to hold the motor to this, which is very simple. So that there, from there to there now should be 3 centimeter. That looks slightly off, but that doesn't matter. I'm still going to do that. Right, so there we go. Perfect square. Now what we're going to do, we're going to cut that out. I'm going to show you how we're going to hold the motor to this. Can't really see in this light, that's difficult. Well, we've cut it to a perfect straight line. Awesome. I'll try to make that. Well, before I actually started cutting this out, I just checked the size of the motor. So I'm going to do that now, just make sure that the square is bigger than the motor. And yes, it is. The square is actually bigger than the motor. I'll show better in a minute. Actually, the way that wheel went on the motor, I just thought of an idea of what could have been helpful as well to hold it in place. I could have actually stuck a cocktail stick in the middle of that hole, so that when it's spun, it holds the motor and everything in place. But there is an alternative to that. This method should work. If it doesn't, then I'm going to try and use a drill piece, get rid of the glue from inside the hole carefully. I might just use that method that I've just come up with. We'll see how this goes first. So there's our square. There's the motor. Right, using measurements again. This was what? I can't. Oh, I'm really the wrong way. Oh, I was actually wrong on the measurement. That's actually 3.7. 2.7, sorry. So 27 millimeters, 2 centimeters, and 7 millimeters. So that being 2.7, we are going to draw some dots. We're going to see how big this square actually is. Oh, it's 3. So that was 2.7. It's 2.7 would be there. We're going to do this at 5 centimeters in. So draw a dot, 5 centimeters. Draw another dot, 5 centimeters. Do the same on this bit. And then afterwards we're going to draw another square. For the middle. So we can almost see where the square is going to be. So I'll draw dots all the way around. I don't know if you can see that. So when I draw the square now, that should measure out 5 millimeters along each part. Make sure that they're perfectly straight. So you want to use the dots that are right to the edge. If you want to draw the square, you'll see in a minute how I've drawn the square to the way that I've drawn it here, because this helps more of where you need to be putting stuff. Because the way we're going to do this, we're actually going to sew the motor to the cardboard using the method you use to sew buttons to a shirt. So there we have it. You can just about see the lines. Bring it a bit closer. You can see I've drawn the lines right way to the edge. Right, where them lines actually cross, once again, you're going to put your needle through those holes. Push it all the way through. Same again here. Hold on a minute, I'll have to pause the video in a sec because I need toilet again. While I'm at it, I'm going to have me another cigarette, because I have actually been working ages putting them, what do you call it, teeth on the cogs. So there we have it. You can see the 4 holes.
And you should be able to see them on the back. We're actually going to have that part facing to the motor. You don't have to, but I'm going to. Right, back in a minute. Oh, that didn't pause. Right, I'm back from my break. As I said, that we've got the holes in the cardboard. Don't need to show that because the body just showed you. I'm going to use, because I tend to use this white cotton quite a lot and I need the black cotton for other stuff. So I'm actually going to use a red cotton. It doesn't matter what colour cotton you actually use. There's my red cotton. Now we are going to need a needle. I've got friggin' tons of needles in here. But there is something missing. I can't tend to find. Oh, no. Where's my other needle kit? I should have a circular needle kit. But there's one of my needle kits. Fortunately, them needles are a bit too big. So I've lost the needle kit from out of here. I do remember seeing it in here. It should have been here with all these needles. Let me go and check my other sewing kit. I do actually have 2 sewing kits. Back in a mo. Alright, this is my other sewing kit. So what we've got in here, tons of white cotton. I did say I was going to use red cotton, I might as well use that one because it's open. Now, we seem to have a huge problem. The needles ain't in here either. This is an awesome feature to have though, as well. This here is elasticated string. Could come in use for stuff. I haven't found any reason to use it yet. Well, I do have press studs as well. They could come in handy. Huh. Didn't know that these was in here. Could use them as trap pins. They are quite longish. I might find some reason to use them somewhere along the line. Yeah, I've got plenty of black cotton as well. So we are stuck for needles. Hold on a minute, hold on. Oh. I have just found my needles. They are actually in my other sewing kit. I'm underneath my light bulbs. There we go, that's what I was looking for. Oh, some of my needles fell out of this. They'll be in the box somewhere. So I'm going to show you a neat way of threading the needle. I always use one of these to actually thread a needle. They're very simple to use. All you do, very gently push the metal through the needle. I'll have to give that a bit of a squeeze. There we go. Push it all the way through so it opens back up. And this is how to use one of these. Don't actually try and hold the metal, use the wire only when you're pushing it through, because you can actually snap it very easily. But if that happens, it's very easy to thread back in as well. Make sure you use a pair of pliers to clip it. So get our cotton. It's a bit frayed on the end, but that doesn't matter. The cotton is now through that bit. As I said, just use the metal, push it back so it reaches over the diamond shape, and then you just slot it off. It's not working, but still I'm going to hold the wire. There we go. I have just threaded that through. That hasn't gone through correctly. Don't think. I think the fray's got caught over the but no, can tend to move it easily. No, it has. It's gone through. No, I can actually feel that tugging. No, it hasn't gone through properly. So what we're going to do is
I use my big pair of scissors and I'm going to cut that fray off and rethread the needle and show you how to sew the motor to this piece of cardboard. So using that same technique, I'll bring it more closer to the camera. There's my needle threader. So you push the metal onto the needle. This is how you use these without breaking them. It's trying to go through. I'm going to have to squeeze it a little. There we go. Now I've got it so far through, I'll grab this end of it and pull it right over. Once it goes on, it's actually very hard to get it back off. Moving it about, you have to use a bit of force to push them on and off. So same again, without the fray. We're going to flick that through there. Oh, dropped it. Now, do not cut the cotton, which my scissors almost just did. Do not cut the cotton from the reel until you've used it, because you only end up wasting cotton. There we go. I've threaded the cotton through that piece of metal. This is strange because I need toilet again. I'm going to thread this quickly. So grabbing the actual metal, the diamond part of the metal, you can actually give a good tug and thread the string through. Fortunately that just got caught on my finger by the looks on it. And pull it to the end. Yeah, that's not gripping this time. And you want to leave about that much cotton on the needle. Right, back in a minute, so I'm going to end up making an accident. Right, I'm back. So before you attach the motor to this, what you want to do is put the cotton into the cardboard through any one of the holes, and then you want to diamond cross it to start with. Now you want to do this twice, and you'll see why in a minute. Obviously going to pull the cotton tight and give myself enough room to keep threading. So I want quite a long piece of cotton. Yeah, that'll do. Now I want to get the motor, and I want to lock that one side. Right there, it's not exactly doing what I want it to do, so I'm going to pull the cotton a bit wider, like that. Find my needle, the end with the needle on. And I want to pull itself tight again. Well, let me get some room on the cotton. Right, so I'll get the needle. Once again, I'm going to go through. Through the hole where I started off. In the exact same direction as the second one. As the first one, sorry. Just pull that tight. Otherwise that can happen. And it's got locked for some reason. I thought I pulled out more string than that. I'm going to need more than that. One moment, folks. There we go. Let's pull some of that through. And then, same again. There we go. Christ's sake. Very fiddly. Same again on the other side to make 2 lines of string like that. Now both of these strings can be moved, but we're going to leave that one like that. We're going to open this one up, so it's like that, and then get the motor and let those pieces of string fold right to where it spins. Then it'll go in there. So using the string, it just doesn't want to do it. Oh, there we go, that one's gone on. There we go, that's one. Done. I'm going to have to move this wire off because the other parts got tangled. One thing I hate about cotton, well, it's not got tangled, but it's got to go over that wire. I'm going to pull that a little bit loose. Get it to go over the wire. And then put it so it goes over the motor. Now that will not be tight enough to be held to the cardboard. So what we want to do now, this is where you're going to need to remember which side you've gone. So the way of doing that, if you've got a forgetful mind like me, find out where there. So you want to go across from where you just put that one. So it'll be this hole that we're using now. Ow, stabbed myself. And the motor will keep falling out of place. But you want to pull that nice and tight. Re-grip the motor. With the cotton. Right, leaving that loose, you go through the opposite wire. This is why it's important to have this all exact same length, so you can position the wire very simply. Otherwise, if you had to do it at a certain length, you could end up putting the motor where you wouldn't be able to attach the wires. That's why it's important to leave a gap on that. As you can see, I can still freely spin that. So I'm going to leave this string on this side, so I know that that's this side now. Leaving it loose. No, not that hole. And back through the same hole that we started with on this crossing, so it'd be this hole. You can't really see that, but be that hole where we went through just to this side. Right, now we've got to refigure which side I just did. So I'll pull that slightly tight. Hold on a minute because it's got my finger caught in it. There we go. Don't pull it too tight. Right, so that's that side, so that's on the right side. Now if you pull this side tight and leave that on that side, it will be moving about still. But I know that this string needs to be on this side, so I go through the hole again. Now I've done that. Oh, that hasn't gone right. Hasn't actually folded over the motor. I can't afford to lose that string. Using the needle, push it under so it falls into place. Something's not right there. Ah, it's that one that's all loose. Oh, Christ's sake. Luckily enough, that's an easy fix. Unfortunately, it's overlapped the string, well, the cotton. So I need to pull this through that hoop. I want to make sure that I get it the correct direction. That's it. There we go. So now we should be able to put all the strings tightly together. This is not working, this method, by the looks on it. The strings just keep falling out of place. It will work eventually if you be patient. Is that the, yeah, that's the string that ties into it. Right, so you want to pull this string tight because this one's come out of place. So this method is just not working. That is still loose. And if you've got loose string, it's got every chance of trapping itself in the motor. So you want to keep on trying to get all your string nice and tight. And to do that, you just keep on pulling on the string, moving it about until it tightens to the motor. Using the strings on the back, using your needle, you can find out which ones are tight and which ones are loose. See, that was a loose one. See, I've just managed to pull that straight, so that wasn't exactly the proper loose one. I've undone that one again. Oh, that's pulled it tighter. And now that's still not tight enough. That's pulled that quite tight. It's getting tighter now. Still trying to come loose. That's tight enough. So what we want to do now, wrap that string around the finger so it doesn't get caught in anything. Keep this upside down because that motor is now held tight. And then you want to end up with that shape, so there's a line going across there, so it's the shape of an X almost inside a box. Pull your string nice and tight to it. And this time you want to repeat this process of getting the string in an X shape. It doesn't matter which way round now it goes because the other strings will hold it in place. That's tucked underneath one of the strings, but that doesn't matter. That'll give it extra hold. That'll stop the string from falling all over the place. 1 minute, I'll go with my fingers. Oh, something's gone wrong. Yeah, this is not working for me, doing this on computer, on a video. So I have to now undo that string because for some reason it has lapped itself. And as far as I can't undo it, so I don't know how it's lapped itself. It looks like I'm going to have to start this all over again. Now I've got it. And I'm pulling the right string. Ah! Right. No. Didn't need to take the needle off. It wrapped
differently to what I expected. Wasn't supposed to go over the motor yet. It's this part where it goes over the motor. And obviously the string is just getting caught on everything. This is why this is very fiddly. I mean, you could super glue the motor to the cardboard, but then you risk getting super glue inside the motor and it just won't spin. That's why I don't use super glue to put a motor to place. So I'm going to need my needle threader and my needle. Now, obviously you want to wrap this several times the way that I'm wrapping it. So in a minute I'm probably going to pause the video and keep on wrapping it. Until I come to the changing the way that it's being wrapped on, just so it holds completely in place and doesn't let any cotton get trapped around the motor. Oh, I just realised why it's been ages since I've actually done slugging. What I should have done is kept the needle nice and short to the string. Shorter the string, the easier to work with. So I'm going to go back through that. Pull the string nice and tight. Put it through. Switch to the other side. Christ's sake. I'm not sure where that string just went, but I don't think that was supposed to go where it's gone. I can't see no mess ups. So this wants to go through this part. Yeah, that motor is now actually starting to feel really strong on there. And it spins okay. So I'm going to go up this side. Just keep on wrapping it on until the motor sits still. I said I was going to pause the video, but I don't see any point now. It seems to be going correctly. And wires are getting tangled in it again. There we go. Nice and strong. Hold on a minute. I need to see which hole I just went through on that. Who's that one? This only seems to be going through on the one side. I don't seem to be doubling up anywhere else. We'll find out. Oh no, it is going right. So
It doesn't matter how you actually sew this on, just sew it on like it's a button. And just make sure that your string stays tight and that you can move the motor freely like that. Do not wrap the stem of the motor because that can also cause problems. So I'll be changing direction in a minute to show how to hold this strong. Something's gone wrong. So I have a loose piece of string. Ow. It's stuck on the needle, that's why. There we go. Now it's through. I just rewrap that other piece around my finger so I don't get it tangled. But this is now actually starting to hold on really nicely. I'm going to go across on that way once more. And always remember to leave the foam bit on the motor. Do not try and do this without foam, because all the foam will do. I mean, if you didn't have the foam, all the metal would do would just make the cotton slide everywhere and it would become a whole big palaver of trying to sew it on. With the foam there, because you're pulling it tight to the foam, it locks into the foam, causing it to hold tightly. That's why I chose to use these motors for this. 1 minute, because that cotton's not all the way through it. There we go. Right, I'm going to go back on this side. Right, let me go through that way. Let's go through this way. Hold on, I've just noticed a bit of a mistake. Not sure where that mistake actually is, but the cotton's still stuck. Now let's hope I don't have to do any unravelling. I can just pull that tight. Yeah, move slightly. It's almost there. It's not as tight as it could be, but it is tight enough. Sort of. Yep, I pulled it really tight now. I'm gonna have to cut another break in a minute. Oh crikey, I've just seen another problem. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to sort that one out. I'm gonna have to go to the toilet. This is actually becoming really a struggle because I keep needing toilet all the time. Sorry, I'm not sure now if I was recording while it was paused or not. But I just went to unpause the video, and it turned out that it probably was still recording. But I've managed to solve the problem that happened with this. It wasn't a big one, it's just the needle had actually sewn through a piece of the cotton. So I've just had to undo a little bit of it. But we're back to where we left off. So I'm going to go through this hole, so we end up with a complete square now with an X in the middle. So I'm going through, and you can see that that's the shape that you want to end up with, but we're going to go now through this hole here. It's not letting me go through. There we go. And it's just the same method. Again, wrapping it under the cog of the motor that we've glued on. Now if you want, before you actually glue the cog on, you can sew the motor to the, what's it called? You just sort of put the cog on, doesn't get no glue anywhere near the motor. Just remember when you're putting the gluing the cog on to use super glue. Oh, so it actually folded over the motor. I didn't think it folded over the motor there. So we're going to go this way a few times, and then we're going to square it completely. And we'll go the opposite side of the motor, so it looks the same all the way around. So we are now starting to run down on cotton, and that feels really tight to the cardboard. And we're going to see how well it spins after I'm finished. Well, it's not exactly a square with an X in the middle yet. That'll soon change, but that's the shape we are looking for now. You can see on the bottom part here, there's no cotton going across where there is that side, and that side. So, see that wants to go through that hole there. Yeah. Oh god damn it, didn't go through the hole. You want it to go through the hole properly, otherwise you can mess up the sewing. It'll start ripping the cardboard. So now we're going to go through this hole on this side to complete the square. But that's not how it's going to end, because now, oh no, it's not going to work if I try and do that. So yeah, you're just going to have to keep up with the X diagram. So it's like sewing it on like a shirt button, almost. So on a shirt button I always actually double over so it holds across ways as well as long ways. Oh Christ. Shouldn't have really changed direction just there. But luckily enough, I've got plenty of cotton left on my string. To go the other way. My needles fell off my string of cotton and caused a little bit of a plover, but not too much. Just got to thread my string back on. Where's my needle thread at? There it is. You know, I'm going to turn the camera a bit more towards me. You can actually see me sewing this to this. As you can see, that's quite strong. That's what you want. When I've done this, I'm leaving the video until tomorrow. But it's not going to let me do that if it keeps on fucking doing what it's doing. It doesn't look like I can thread the string back on. It's not going to like that. And I'm starting to get pissed off. Right, let's hope now that I can thread that through. Oh Christ's sake, that's why it wasn't working. I was supposed to thread it onto the needle first. thread the needle threader onto the needle first. There we go, needle threader's on. I'm getting caught in the cotton. I'm not sure what direction I was actually going. It's still not letting me thread this. No, because my glasses was too far down my eyes. I wasn't actually seeing through my glasses properly. There we go. Yeah, I should be able to thread that. Yep. There we go. And where was it showing? Yeah, I want to go through this hole here. Because of how much string is left on that. Might call this the last bit of sew. Let's have a look. Yep. I'm happy with that on there, that feels quite strong. So I am now going to actually detach the needle. Now we have that piece of string attached to this, and we have the loose piece of string. What we're going to do, we're going to tie them together. And be careful because it's got a very good chance of the video ending itself. Hope I'm wrong on that. So it's not going to let me tie it tight at the moment. But when we put the next knot in, I should be able to pull two knots tight together. Hope I'm right. When you're actually tying the knots, pull very tightly to the cardboard, and hopefully it should lock in place like it has done there. Now, because you know that that knot can slide, you tie it a fair few times afterwards, so it locks completely. So now we have one knot. All the other knots will tie straight to that knot without coming loose. Same again. And again. Not let me tie it. Come on. We're not going to be able to run this video properly the way this is going. It won't let me tie it. I'm going to tie it once more. Obviously you don't want string all over the place, so it will just get in the way when we build the next part. So I'm happy with that. You want to cut as close as possible to that knot, leaving very little string. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I'm going to show on the camera. See, so from all that string that I used, that is all I've wasted. Because I never cut it from this until just, there is no string cutting from there at all. All I do is wind that back up. And the only reason why that little piece got wasted is because it's something that you cannot help. Is because that was the piece that we had attached to the needle. As you can see, there's the little tiny knot, so it can't get in the way of anything. And our motor is held firmly to that piece of cardboard. But what we want to do, if we can, we need to lift up the string on that because I don't like where the wires are actually held. Actually, you know what? If I have that facing that way, that can work. Yeah, that can actually work. So I've just thought of another idea. Just get some of that cardboard out of the way. I am going to put my needle through where those wires are into the cardboard. That needle doesn't want to work. There's my other needle. There. The one with the bobble on the end. I'm going to use that one because I'm pushing through cardboard. Oh, there we go. Then I'm going to get this cocktail stick and I'm going to widen that hole. So I'm going to have to do it from this side because it's not letting me go through on that side. There we go. Now I can go through on this side. We are now going to that hole that we've just made. The wires that attach to the motor, we are going to thread through that hole. Fortunately, it's been a bit awkward because there's cotton in the way of that hole. But when it gets round to it, when it stops catching on stuff, we should be able to put these wires through that hole that we've just made. But it just doesn't want to go through. This is why sometimes working with this stuff can be a nightmare. Doesn't matter how much I try and twist that wiring out on the end, it just keeps fraying and pushing the wire back out of the hole. It's just frayed again. If it keeps on fraying too much, you just fold it over and thread the actual plastic wire through. Right, it's frayed again. What I mean by that, fold it so it's facing backwards, then try and thread it through the hole, which makes it a little harder because now the wiring, this just doesn't want to work. I can't show you on the camera. I'm trying to stand up now so I can see the hole. Right there, I've got the hole. And the wire's just not going through it. So I'm going to use this again. I'm going to push it back through that hole and see if that makes any difference. No. Unfortunately, this has now just become impossible. I'm going to try the red wire. Because now that red wire is out of the way, I can actually see the hole. Yes, I've got the red wire through. Oh, what a surprise, it's got caught on the string. Oh, there we go. So, the red wire is through. Unfortunately, what I wanted to do on this video, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do it. Is that still recording? Yes. It's this black wire just doesn't want to go through. I'm going to try and widen up that hole while that wire's inside there. There, I should be able to fit it through now. Yes, so now we have both the wires through. We are going to see this work quickly, and then we're going to try and attach the other cogs up when I've finished them. So I'm going to attach this to those wires. I'm going to hold the motor by the cardboard and not by the actual motor, and see how well it spins, see if it starts messing up. Oh, it should be black wire to black, red to red. It doesn't matter which way around you wrap these wires though, because the motor is like the light bulbs I use, has no positive, no negative. You can attach the motor to either way. The only thing that will happen is it will change direction. These wires just don't want to attach for some reason. There we go, got it. Right, before I actually attach that in, I use my finger to separate the wires, so I'm not touching the actual where the electric is exposed. I'd hold it like that for a second. I'm going to bring the thing up. I'm actually going to hold it at two corners, so you can actually see that I'm holding it. This lighting's not very good. There you can actually see I'm holding it by the cardboard. That would be very stupid if I plug that in, because my finger's going to get caught on that. I can't actually, one of the wires have just come undone. This is just being awkward. Now the other wires just come undone. It just doesn't want me to do this. Now the other wires come undone. So what we've got is nothing attached. I'm getting really agitated and I'm starting to need toilet again, which is not good. I'm going to have to go to the toilet and just try and wrap this on here. I'll pause the video and I'll be back. I'll attach the wires up off video and try and configure it so you can actually see properly. So see you in a moment. Right, I've moved my camera so it's more into the light. So if you can see, I am actually holding that by the cardboard. I've put a piece of paper there so the wires don't get trapped together when I do this. Look how well that works. I actually feel like trying to push away because of the card. So yeah, there we go. We are going to leave that there and continue tomorrow on building the rest of this. So as usual, happy constructing.